On today's show, the saying, "It takes a village to raise a child," is a popular proverb with a clear message. The whole community has an essential role to play in the growth and development of its children. While parent and community engagement has long been a focus for schools, studies show that parental involvement in education tends to decline as children go up in grade levels. Miss LaTonya Gates-Johnson, founder of PAW Kids, is here to discuss how her organization is bridging the gap of education and resources in our community. I'm Commissioner Natalie Hall, and the district is next. Research shows that strong relationships between schools, families, and community members can positively affect student achievement and outcomes. Increased family engagement in schools is strongly associated with the following: children learning to read at a younger age, increased rates of students going to college, and a decrease in the number of dropouts. It is well established that what happens before and after school can be just as important as what happens during the school day. Even the most promising advances in the classroom can be reversed by family life and negated by negative neighborhood activity. My guest today has said, "Not in my neighborhood."
Right.
Ms. LaTonya Gates-Johnson is the founder of PAW Kids, an enrichment program for at-risk children and their families in Grove Park. Their mission statement is to provide families with various resources that will empower and encourage them while promoting Christian values, building stronger communities, and developing self-sufficiency. LaTonya Gates-Johnson, welcome to the show.
I am honored. Thank you so much.
Well, I am very happy to have you here on the show. Your organization is doing so much in the Grove Park community and beyond, and you do a lot not only for the youth but for seniors. So tell us a little bit more about PAW Kids. What is it? What do you do? Let the people know.
So PAW Kids was founded about 5.5 years ago, and the P in PAW stands for Paradise Baptist Church, which is a historically Black church located 1 block from us. And the AW stands for Atlanta West Side Presbyterian Church, is also a predominantly white church on the west side of Atlanta. And I had a vision to really go back into this neighborhood and just give back to my people. And I challenged both churches, the same zip code, but really live different lives, to come together and leave the PAW, which is the imprint in Grove Park. And so we started with 5 kids in a recent trap house on Bankhead. And what I did was I jumped into the program, loved on these children, met their families, but what I seen was it was a disconnect. And the reading levels were extremely low. And it's not that we don't love our children, but when you're not able to put your hand on resources, that's what really geared me and just pushed me to say, hey, you know what? God has been truly good to me. How can we come in and help these kids and build these families in our neighborhood? So there you have it. That's how we started PAW Kids.
That's amazing. And it appears that your personal struggles and challenges growing up seem to have really fueled your passion for PAW Kids. So can you tell us a little bit about your background and how it has impacted your work?
Not at all. I'm 47, right? So my mom actually had me in Pulaski State Prison, and I will forever be a heroin addict. My mom was addicted to heroin, and she also had tuberculosis at the time of giving birth to me. And my grandmother actually came to the prison. They called her, the social workers, and said, you know, you have to come get this baby before she becomes ward of the state. And growing up, what my grandmother didn't know was that all the learning disabilities that came alongside of raising a heroin baby, they wanted to give me methadone. And my grandmother said, no, God is going to heal her. We're not going to give her methadone. But in the midst of that, what she didn't understand was the learning disabilities, behavioral disabilities that came alongside of that. So she actually raised all 5 of my mom's kids. And I say, look, this lady was amazing. I don't see how she did it. So we struggled. It was a house full of love, but it was a house full of love, but I would say a lot of things went on in the house. I was molested during the process, kicked out of all the Cobb County schools. Just different problems that I had. Became a single mom, a teenage mom at the age of 17. And so that led me to really, really want to give back, just to the people and the kids here of Grove Park.
Wow, LaTonya, all I can say is look at God.
Look at God.
Yes, praise. Whew. So let's talk about the PAW Kids house.
Yes.
I know when I visited, my mouth was open the whole time in awe of what you've done with that house. Describe what it's like when you first pulled up to that house on Hollowell Parkway and how it went from being a crack house to a house of education and enrichment for children.
So we actually, I started a backyard Bible club, and I wanted a safe place for my families to go to. And so we found the house. The house was for sale, me and my adopted father. And I can remember walking in, and he looked at me and he said, "Are you sure you want to purchase this house?" And I said, "Yes, this house is going to work." The smell, it reeked of crack and heroin, and just downstairs it was male prostitution going on at the time. And he was like, "LaTonya, I don't understand. What are you about to do with this house?" It was an old rooming house. House had been used for a lot of things. And I said, I see a vision. We can turn this house around. And so I believe as a strong Black woman, God will give you something and you can make anything out of it. I grew up believing that, like, I'm gonna make something out of this house. And so we came in. I really had no budget, right? But I know I wanted a safe, clean environment for my children. And I wanted bright colors and sayings on the wall, and just I wanted a beautiful place. And so we created that space for the kids right here on Bankhead. It's to the point to where I've had a guy that he served 20 years in prison, and he came back and he said, "Hey, I want to take a look inside of that house." And he walked in, he said, "The smell is gone." That's just how bad it reeked in here.
Oh my gosh, LaTonya,
Yes.
I don't even know. I can't even imagine when you say this, there's this smell of crack and heroin. I can't even imagine what that's like. And to know that I didn't see the house beforehand, but I've seen what you've done with it. I can't even imagine what you went through trying to transform that into the beautiful place that it is today. And I mean, it is absolutely magnificent.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
So in 2018, PAW Kids acquired the property next door to the PAW House with the help of Grove Park Renewal, and it's now known as the Gathering Place. Tell us about what happens there.
So that was another house that house holds a lot of history in our neighborhood. I purchased it from an African-American family. They were the first family in their house, they were the first family couple in their family to ever purchase a home. And they also were the first African-Americans to live on that street, right? So they died about 10 years ago. The uncle took over the house and he let the house run down. So we went in again, remodeled that house and brought that house up. And now what I seen was, I said, you know what, it's not a safe place for parents. Parents need a place just like kids to retreat. So we started that house. We now run a free medical clinic out of there. We have a behavioral health component to where parents can come in and talk to a counselor or a therapist. We offer cooking classes for our kids. A lot of homeless guys here, there's no place to shower. So downstairs in the basement, some of my parents like, "Miss LaTonya, we don't have a washing machine and dryer." So they open up a community little wash house. So it's 2 washers, 2 dryers, a shower for some of the guys around to come in and take baths, right? And then on the 3rd floor, we have a place for missionaries to come in who want to serve with us, and they can stay alongside of us. So we call it the Gathering Place because we offer, it's all free. If you want to have a baby shower, a kid's birthday party, we have fish fries. It's a community gathering place.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll hear more from LaTonya Johnson about PAW Kids. Stay with us. Welcome back. We've been talking to LaTonya Gates-Johnson, the founder of a nonprofit called PAW Kids. LaTonya, before COVID-19, PAW Kids was providing enrichment programs for families. When the schools closed and there became an emergency need for food, PAW Kids answered that call once again and created Claudias House. Tell our viewers more about the work of Claudias House.
The mention of her name sends me chills. So Claudias House was named after my grandmother, who actually took me in and raised me. And growing up on the east side of Decatur, she had a house where anybody could come to, right? If you needed food, diapers, childcare, my grandmother was the beacon of that neighborhood. And she provided those things. And so during COVID, we actually live in the middle of a food desert. It's no grocery store, no pharmacy. The only thing we have is the local Family Dollar, and it's sold out. So when you go in to even buy Pampers for your child, it's hard to find wet wipes, Pampers, anything. And we had a generous donor that said, "Hey, LaTonya, we really want to help you guys in Grove Park, but it's two parts to this. First, you will have to be able to receive 2,500 pounds of food weekly, and the second thing is you have to start a food co-op." Well, we didn't have the space in our neighborhood for that, right? And so I reached out to one of the guys who owns a building that's adjacent to us. It's just a little building that has been vacant for over 20 years. And in the 60s and 70s, it was used as an ice cream parlor. And I asked him, I said, do you mind us coming in to lease this space out, put some freezers in, we're able to get food out to the community. And out of that, we started Claudias House. So imagine during COVID, doing a full renovation and passing out food, building this amazing house. Taking this amazing building and opening it up to the neighborhood. So now that's how Claudias House started. It's nobody but God. I can say that we're now passing out over 2,000 meals weekly. We're receiving 2,500 pounds of food. Mercedes-Benz have kicked in with 500 meals weekly. Coca-Cola is kicking in with pallets of Coke, water, Gatorade, Sprite, anything we name, we tell Coke we need it. The Atlanta Braves actually is providing 400 meals. Super Genius is bringing in 100 quarts. And then we just started partnering with the Good Samaritan, where they bring in fresh produce. So now we're able to not only take care of Grove Park, but we're into Cary Park, Vine City, over in the Bluff area. And it's just God. All I can say is God.
Yes, yes. Boy, this is just all testimony today. So, PAW Kids, that kind of leads me to my next question about PAW Kids recently launching the Help Us Help Others capital campaign. So, can you tell us what you're hoping to achieve with this campaign?
Yeah, so again, this is very unique. Think about going through COVID and running the food pantry. We have the learning pods, we have the behavioral health. But what people don't understand is 90% of our staff, they come from our community, right? And so we want to keep our staff working. We want to keep our staff, our community safe. And the campaign is to help us help others. By you helping us, we're able to help our staff, help our community, and we have an awesome opportunity to buy that building. So just think about it. This block right here would be African American owned, from Bankhead Seafood to PAW Kids. So you're helping us help ourselves along with helping us help others. So that's what that campaign is all about.
That is awesome. So what advice would you give to people that see a need for change in their community, but they don't know where to start?
You know what? Start small. People call and ask me, what can I do to get involved? You think about the seniors, Natalie, that are in home and that can't leave. You can send texts, you can do a pen pal, you can leave flowers on a senior's door. COVID is rising. And so we have some families here who have been exposed to COVID. So I asked them, like, what are some of the things you went through in the times? How did you feel? And they said a spirit of loneliness. So what we started doing is just, we'll knock on the door. Just leave a nice note there. Hey, we're praying for you. Do you need something from the store? We actually have on each block in our communities, we can't do everything, right? So what we do is we have block captains. And so that block captains get the word out to what those seniors need, what the parents need. It's just everything you do right now, it counts. A lot of my parents, they don't have transportation. So going to the grocery store, hey, do you need a gallon of milk? Can I help you read to your children? Just anything simple like that. It all matters.
Oh, wow. Please tell our viewers how they can learn more about PAW Kids and get involved, because this is outstanding.
Yes, follow us on Grove Park and PAW Kids on Instagram, or you can, for our website, is pawkids.org. The same thing with Facebook. Just type in PAW Kids and you'll see the blue house pop up. Follow us.
Well, thank you so much, LaTonya, for joining us on today's show and continuing to devote yourself to bettering the life of our youth, our seniors, and our communities. Every neighborhood, whether it struggles or not, needs a LaTonya. Every neighborhood needs someone who has a heart to make life better, not just for themselves, but for those around them. Now more than ever, your kind words, thoughts, and actions can greatly impact your neighbors. Whether it's offering to do some grocery shopping for your elderly neighbor or helping to tutor the child of an overworked single mother in your neighborhood. No matter how big or small, we can all do something to make our communities better. That's our show for today. Special thanks to our guests for joining us, and a special thanks to you for watching. Feel free to contact our District 4 office anytime by calling 404-612-8226 or emailing at District 4, that's the number 4, at fultoncountyga.gov. And be sure to connect with us at FulcoD4, that's at FULCOD and the number 4 on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Until we meet again, I'm your District 4 Commissioner, Natalie Hall.